The U.S. Army invests millions of dollars every year into training and developing dedicated elite performers and turning them into Special Forces operators. But prior to even beginning training, there is a multiple-week tryout system which is called selection. But why is there selection in the first place? Well, the answer is simple. The Army wants to see if you're a good investment. They have to know that the men they selected to go through the millions of dollars worth of training are not going to quit halfway through the training process. Training tip number 1, walk a lot. At selection, you will be patrolling where you literally walk all day long. You will conduct land navigation courses where you literally walk all day long. It is insufficient to go for a 12-mile ruck march every weekend to train for selection. Let's say the average soldier walks 1 mile in 15 minutes. That's 4 miles in an hour, or 12 miles in 3 hours. Walking for 3 hours is not a way to train for competition where you will walk for 24 hours straight. Let's use this beefcake as an example. He clearly is a muscle machine. But this guy can't go 6 hours without a protein shake, so for sure he can't run with a backpack as fast as he can for 6 hours straight. Guys like this make the same mistake all the time. They say, I'm buff, I'm awesome. I can train for selection by walking 3 hours once a month. Again, I say, walking for 3 hours is not a way to train for a competition where you will walk for 24 hours. When I say walk a lot, I mean every weekend try to walk 8 to 12 hours a day. That's 16 to 24 hours over the course of a weekend. This will condition your body to being on your feet and constantly moving. Training tip number 2, harden your shoulders. The way you harden your shoulders is by wearing your backpack a lot. The same logic from training tip number 1 applies. Wearing a 45-pound backpack during a 3-hour ruck march is not a good way to train for a competition where you will wear your rucksack for 24 hours straight. You must get your back and shoulders accustomed to wearing your military-issued rucksack. When it is weird to be seen with a military rucksack, wear a discreet civilian-style backpack, but wear it everywhere. Wear it to the mall or grocery shopping. Hike in it. Carry it to and from your office. You must get your back and shoulders accustomed to constantly wearing a heavy backpack. Training tip number 3, harden your feet. If you get blisters at selection, you're done. Bloody feet have made hundreds of strong men quit before ever reaching the finish line. I can't tell you how many men who were stronger than me quit because the pain from their blisters was too much to bear. To harden my feet, I used to walk without socks at least once a week. I would pour water into my boots every few ruck marches to simulate walking in the rain. I alternated boots so I would get used to the friction points from both of my boots. And never train by walking on a road. Walking on a road lets you take consistent steps. At selection, you will be walking cross-country, up, down, and sideways across hills and mountains. This places a lot of friction on your feet. Only train while walking cross-country or on the rough shoulder parallel to a road. So harden your feet before you go to selection. Training tip number 4, good boots. Make sure you have at least 2 pairs of good boots which are broken in and ready for 6 weeks of hard abuse. Breaking in new boots while at selection is not advisable. Arriving with old boots which fall apart the last week of selection is also not advisable. Plan ahead. Better to spend $100 a few months before selection than to be in a position where your old boots fail you. Training tip number 5, become great at land navigation. Orienteering or land navigation is an important part of the selection process. I recommend that you become an expert at navigating with a protractor, map, and compass before you go to selection. A navigational mistake will waste time, prevent you from finding your destination, or even get you killed. So be an expert at land navigation before you even show up to selection. Okay, that's it. If you want to become a part of the world's most elite military units, you have to overcome the amazing challenge of Special Forces or Delta Force selection. I congratulate you in advance for having the courage to do what so many only dream about. Now get to work.